All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to break down the digital transformation playbook that's not just changing a few companies, it's completely rewriting the rules for entire industries. We're going to explore how businesses are dealing with this massive disruption to not only survive, but actually come out way ahead.
Okay, to really get what's going on, we have to start with just one number. A really big one that explains pretty much everything, 80%. This number is the reason for all the pressure pretty much every business on the planet is feeling right now. And there you have it. 80% of us now expect that super smooth, personalized, on-demand experience in every single interaction we have. It's called the Netflix effect. Tech giants have totally rewired our brands, and now that expectation is hitting everyone, from your bank down the street to massive global drug companies. So what happens when everyone expects everything to be amazing and tailored just for them? Well, you get this massive shakeup, something people are calling the Great Unbundling. All of a sudden, those traditional do-it-all businesses are getting picked apart by a new breed of competitor.
Just look at banking. It's the perfect example. On one side, you have the old school bank that tries to be everything to everyone. And on the other, an army of fintech specialists. And they're not trying to replace the whole bank. No way. They are surgically picking off the most profitable little pieces. One company just for loans, another just for payments, another just for investing.
Now, this unbundling isn't happening in a vacuum. It's being fueled by a perfect storm of disruptions. You've got industry lines that are just dissolving. New, super agile competitors are popping up out of nowhere. The lifespan of a business or a product is getting shorter and shorter. And, of course, there's insane pressure to lower prices. The old guard is now forced to defend every part of their business model. So how in the world do the traditional companies fight back? Well, not by building bigger walls around their old product silos, that's for sure. The winning playbook is all about rebundling services, but this time with the customer sitting right in the middle of everything. The whole game is shifting from being reactive to being proactive, and it all starts by asking this fundamental question. Instead of just waiting for a customer to come to you for a car loan, how can you figure out they're gonna need one? Maybe even before they do. And the answer? Well, it's something the tech giants perfected a long time ago. It's called the segment of one. This means we have to stop thinking in big, clumsy buckets like millennials. Instead, we use data to understand and serve every single person as an individual. It's hyper-personalization at a massive scale. So how do you actually do that? Well, it's kind of a two-pronged attack. First, you dig into the data, what they buy, how they behave, to build a really detailed profile. But second, and this is the real kicker, you have to remember that people change. Their needs are always evolving. So your understanding of them has to be just as dynamic, changing right along with them on their life's journey. And what this does is it completely changes the goal. We're not trying to guess some big, fuzzy, long-term number like customer lifetime value anymore. Instead, the focus is on something way more powerful and immediate. What is the single most helpful thing, the next best action we can do for this person right now? It could be offering financial advice or maybe a tool to help them save. It's about being useful in the moment. And that is what builds loyalty. Okay, but you can't run this kind of customer-obsessed strategy on old, clunky technology. No way. You need a brand new, powerful engine room, a digital one. And it's built on 3 interconnected pillars that all have to work together perfectly. So here they are: a cloud-first strategy, enterprise-wide AI, and treating data like the gold that it is. And I've got to stress this. You can't do these one at a time. It's not a step-by-step thing. You have to go all in on all 3 at once, because each one makes the other 2 way more powerful.
First up, cloud. Look, this is just table stakes now. It's the foundation for everything. You have to get off those old, inflexible, on-premises systems. The cloud gives you the speed and the scale to actually adapt and compete in real time. It is absolutely non-negotiable.
Second, enterprise AI. And we're not talking about some little side project in a lab somewhere. We're talking about weaving artificial intelligence into the very fabric of the business. It's the brain that automates processes and powers that next best action engine we were just talking about, all while being managed with really strong governance. And finally, none of this works without data. For years, precious data has been locked away in these little organizational silos, totally disconnected and pretty much useless. To fuel this new digital engine, you have to treat data as your most valuable strategic asset. You got to set it free, clean it up, and get it flowing to where it can actually make a difference. All right, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like out in the wild? Let's take a look at how this exact playbook is shaking up some major industries right now. Back to banking. A winning bank isn't just selling you a mortgage anymore. They're thinking about your entire home buying journey. So they might bundle everything together, from the initial loan to insurance to even a line of credit for renovations, competing directly with those slick, single-product fintechs. How about wealth management? Here, it's all about making the human advisors even better. They're being armed with these powerful digital platforms with AI that kind of whispers in their ear, suggesting the next best action for their clients. This lets them offer truly holistic financial planning, not just executing trades.
The payments industry. I know, it might sound boring, but it is undergoing a total revolution. They're using tech like open banking and blockchain to make sending money, especially between businesses and across borders, way faster and more secure. And this is a huge deal, particularly in the trade finance sector, which is, get this, an $18 trillion market.
And this example from life sciences is just incredible. Clinical trials are notoriously slow and expensive, but now companies are using real-world data from actual patients to create what are called synthetic control arms. What that means is they can test new drugs against existing data, which can dramatically speed up R&D and get life-saving treatments to the people who need them so much faster. It's a total game changer.
And it's so important to remember that all of this is happening against a crazy backdrop. People call it a VUCA world that's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Basically, things are chaotic out there. The pandemic just threw gasoline on that fire, and it turned digital transformation from a nice-to-have goal into an urgent do-or-die mission. So when you pull all of this together and look at this massive shift, what's the one big thing you really need to walk away with?
It's this. The old ways of winning, just being the biggest company or the one that's been around the longest, those advantages, those protective moats, are drying up fast. The new, durable advantage is completely different. It's about being agile, being responsive, and being absolutely, relentlessly obsessed with your customer. And that all boils down to one final, really provocative question. And I want you to really think about this for your own organization. When you look at its structure, its incentives, its culture, what's really at the center of it all? Is it organized around its products? Or is it organized around its customers? Because how you answer that question is going to determine your future.